Greetings, everyone. This is Mountain Spirit Witch, and now I'm going to talk about the origins of Thanksgiving. So, the true history of Thanksgiving. So, Thanksgiving and also Truthsgiving, a concept coined by indigenous activist Christine Nobis to dismantle common misunderstandings about Thanksgiving with the truth. So, in the name of Truthsgiving, here's the true history of this holiday. So, what is the real story of Thanksgiving? The Pilgrims had hardly explored the shores of Cape Cod for 4 days before they had robbed the graves of my ancestors and stolen their corn and beans. This is a Wampanoag activist and organizer of the National Day of Mourning, Wamsuta Frank James. The first Thanksgiving, as a lot of folks understand it, was in 1621 between the Pilgrims of Plymouth Colony and the Wampanoag tribe in present-day Massachusetts. While records indicate that this celebration did happen, there are a few misconceptions we need to clear up. Because of the erasure, in other words, removal and exclusion of Native American narratives from the histories a lot of us were taught, we've been left with an incomplete picture of what really happened. So here's the full story. There's no evidence that the Wampanoag people were even invited in the first place. An account from the time said 90 members of the Wampanoag tribe were present and makes no mention of invitations. Some experts believe that these 90 men were an army sent by Wampanoag leader Osamequin at the sound of gunshots, which turned out to be a part of the celebration. In their first encounter with the Wampanoag people, the Pilgrims stole from the tribe's winter provisions. It wasn't until later that Osamequin formed an alliance between the groups. Even then, the alliance really only existed because the Wampanoag people were ravaged by diseases brought by the European colonizers in the years prior. It was less about intercultural harmony and more about survival made necessary by the actions of these settlers. That first harvest was followed by deadly conflicts between colonizers and native people, including, but definitely not limited to, the Wampanoags, if I'm saying that correctly. The Europeans repaid their native allies by seizing native land and imprisoning, enslaving, and executing native people. Following Thanksgiving, celebrations by European settlers often marked brutal victories over native people, like the Pequot Massacre of 1636 or the beheading of Wampanoag leader Metacom in 1676. Today, the Wampanoag make up two federally recognized tribes, the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe and the Wampanoag tribe of Gayhead, Aquinnah. Why haven't I heard this before? Many students still complete an American education unsure about the place of Native people in the nation's past, or in its present. Philip Deloria said, Harvard professor and scholar of Native American history. Unfortunately, a lot of U.S. schools just don't accurately teach Native American history, or sometimes don't teach Native American history at all. But the fact is, Native American history is American history. November is National Native American History Month, which makes it the perfect time to learn about the role Native people have played in shaping our country. Here's another thing to keep in mind. Native people are a part of the past, and they're also very much a part of our country's present and future. About 87% of state-level history standards don't mention Native American history after 1900. but Native American people have had a huge impact on contemporary U.S. society. Take, for example, Joy Harjo, the first Native American poet laureate, the young indigenous activists who are fighting for their communities, and the record number of lawmakers bringing Native representation to government. And why does it matter? To me, Thanksgiving is a reminder of our resistance as Indigenous people navigating this settler society that continuously tries to erase and destroy us, yet we are still here. And that's spoken by Alan Salway, writer and community organizer from the Navajo Nation. We can't use inaccurate histories to inform our understanding of Native communities. The erasure of Native narratives and voices contributes to the invisibility of Native people and issues. By recognizing the true history of these events, we can affirm the experiences of Native communities and do a better job of tackling the systemic issues that they have faced and continue to face as a result. So, some folks skip Thanksgiving altogether and opt for Native-led events like the National Day of Mourning held in Plymouth since 1970, or the Indigenous People Sunrise Ceremony held in California since 1969. As you celebrate Thanksgiving by feasting with family, watching the parade, and going back for seconds or thirds, there are also some simple, impactful things you can do to help combat Native erasure this holiday. They give a few suggestions here. I could just simply state them: is celebrate Indigenous cuisine, speak about speak about Native peoples in a respectful way, learn and teach the true history of Native people, acknowledge whose land you're on at this very moment, support Native-led initiatives. So those are just some things here. So yes, let us remember where this holiday really came for, and how for the Native Americans it's a time of mourning over all the people that have been slain on this holiday. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. And thanks for listening, and you all have a great day.